Let's take a look at how height maps work in Aerialod. To do that, I'm going to add the Ben Nevis layer, which is a PNG file, and it's called bennevisterrain.png, and you can find these files via the link in the description to this video. So I'll select it and click open, and in this case it's a PNG file and the pixel values don't represent the actual height. So that's the first thing to say. I'll need to adjust those. Sometimes we do have actual elevation data like in a TIFF file or an ASC file, and other times it's just black to white images. So if I change the elevation or the scale here on the right to 10, that's actually much more like the real world pattern. I'll also change the perspective. So the perspective is currently on orthogonal camera. I'm going to change it to perspective view. And you can see in this case, we have kind of box round the terrain. Now, how I did that was I just added a white outline with curved corners to my terrain layer. You can do that in various software. I did it using a tool called EarthenView, which is free. You could do it in QGIS. You could do it in all manner of graphics programs, but that's what this is. That's how I put a box around it. I just gave it a white curved outline, and because it's white, it's highest. The terrain here by default will be the base color, which in this case, if I click on the right hand side, that's going to be the default color, but I can change that to whatever I like. I'm going to make it almost white. Okay, so that's how this works. I can obviously move this around however I like, but the fundamental principle is that white in your image is higher and dark is lower. Anything black won't show up. So if you were to open up this image in an image viewer, you would see a black frame or shape around it, but that doesn't show up in Aerialod. I'll quickly drag it into screen so you can see. So here's the actual image file, and there is a black shape around it, but Aerialod doesn't show that. Anything black is not visible. So I'll close this now. And then of course I can click on the load color image box on the right, and then we have in this case a Ben Nevis satellite layer, much higher resolution than the small files I've also provided. And then that adds on top. So the key point here is understanding that white is high and very dark colors are low and black is invisible. So if you want to add a box or something similar round your scene, you can add a white outline. It's a little bit of trial and error in terms of the thickness and so on, but once you figure out how it works, it's pretty straightforward, and hopefully that helps you put together some really nice looking scenes.